Welcome back, folks. Professor Almeida here to walk you through the PowerPoint Module 2 project in COSA 50. Coming up, you're going to learn how to enhance your presentations with shapes and smart art. Now, just as a quick disclaimer, I've been playing around with this project, making the mistakes so you don't have to, because sometimes with the SAM grading engine, it can be pretty unforgiving if your shapes are just slightly off. So do your due diligence. Don't just blindly follow what I'm doing. Of course, you have the ebook and your SAM training sims. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at my VM here. Here's the full ebook, chapter 2 or module 2, enhancing presentations with shapes and smart art. And here are the objectives for this module. Again, there's going to be some things that you've seen in Word and some things you can take with you back into Word. And with that, let's go ahead and launch the project. So I'll click Start. Make sure you grab your instructions, start file, and support file. And as you can see, I already have my files. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and open up my report here just to show you that I've already done this, okay? So I've already earned 100 out of 100, but we're going to walk through this together from scratch so that you can see the little gotchas along the way, and hopefully I'm not going to be bitten by those gotchas. Again, with the SAM engine, if you're not careful, you might end up losing points. So with that, go ahead and pause. Get your stuff ready to go, and I'll see you on the other side. All right, hopefully by now you know how it all works. So without further ado, let's dive right in. Project steps. Step 1. As a member of the Human Resources team for Access Medical, a managed healthcare company, you enhance a presentation to welcome new employees to the company. Start by creating a custom design element on slide 1, Access Medical Employee Orientation, as follows. So, piece of advice here, if later on, you turn in this project for grading and you have an issue with this step, you can always copy the shapes from your original start file and then paste them into your project file rather than having to start from the beginning. Of course, it's a free country. If you want to start from the beginning, hey, more power to you. That's just more practice. All right, let's go ahead and enable editing. And from there, let's take a look at the instructions. Part A, use smart guides to position the red cross shape on top of the blue star shape as shown in figure 1. Let me zoom in so you can see here. So these red dotted lines are your smart guides, and these come in handy so that you know where to place objects on your slide. All right, so this is what it should look like. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and zoom in my project here, and I'm going to take the red cross and I will drag it. So there's one of the smart guides. We're looking for it in the middle here. Oops, wrong shape. There we go. So again, we're looking for the intersection. There it is right there. See that? I'm going to go ahead and let go. And then part B, bring the red cross shape to the front. So make sure the red cross shape is selected. Two ways to do this. You can right click on the shape and you'll see bring to front. And if you expand this menu, there's bring to front and bring forward. Now, if you're in the shape format tab, it's the reverse. In the arrange group, you see it says bring forward, but if you bring down the menu, bring to front. Okay, so you want to bring to front. Part C, first select the red cross shape and then select the blue star shape. Merge the two shapes using the combine option. So holding down the control key, click on the star shape in the background there. Okay, there you go. You have both of them selected. And then to combine the two shapes, in the shape format tab, insert shapes group, click on merge shapes, and there's combine. This is what you should have. And then part D, change the merge shape's height to 1.5 inches and the width to 1.5 inches. Shape format tab, size group, Hopefully you have figured things out by now. 1.5 inches for both height and width. So you can see in the shape format tab, it's very similar to picture format. You have your styles gallery, you have your fill, outline, effects, and then you have word art styles here. Now, if you're working with word art, whether it's in PowerPoint or Word, this is going to show up in the shape format tab. You have the same accessibility group, the same arrange group, the same size group. All right, here's the tricky part. Part E, use smart guides to position the merged shape as shown in figure 2. Okay, pay attention here because if you're even slightly off, the grading engine will mark you wrong, as I have found out from playing around with this. So here's what we need to do. Let's move this shape down, and let me also scroll on down here. So again, we're looking for this. We want that smart guide down the middle. There it is. All right, down the middle. And this is where it gets tricky. Okay, we need to take a look at this carefully. And if you really need to zoom in here, oops, scroll on down. Okay, so look at where this line is here. Okay, so the middle of the shape is just slightly below. We want to compare this. Okay, so if you need to zoom in and, oops, I don't want that. Okay, I'm going to have to move this up just a little bit. There you go, right about there. Well, we're going to find out when I submit this for grading. So again, do your due diligence, but make sure to put a note. Make sure to put a note right here for step 1E. Okay, so go back, check 1E just in case. All right, so how are we doing? Again, if you need a break, you always have the pause button. And moving right along. In step 2, on slide 3, company accomplishments, rearrange objects on the slide for a better effect as follows. And there we go. That's more like it. Rearrange objects on the slide for a better effect as follows. Part A, change the color of the blue rectangle to red accent 4, darker 25%. So this blue rectangle here, we're going to select this, and the shape format tab, shape styles. We want shape fill, and again, it's going to be red accent 4, darker 25%. Hopefully by now you figured out the pattern that darker 25% is on the 5th row in theme colors. All right, so we just need to look for red accent 4 and then go down to that 5th row. There's red accent 4, darker 25%. Part B, apply the glow 5-point red accent color 4 effect to the red rectangle. Someone up in Microsoft was paid handsomely to come up with these names. Use this as a hint, right? It's an effect and it's called glow. So we know it's a shape effect. Shape format tab, shape styles group. There's shape effects. Glow. And there it is, glow 5-point red accent color 4. Part C, send the red rectangle to the back. Again, you can right click on the red rectangle, send to back if you want. Notice the menu, send to back and send backward. But if you look in the shape format tab arrange group, you see send backward. But if you expand that menu, there's send to back. Okay, so use whatever works for you. I'm going to send to back. Part D, flip the picture vertically. So we'll select the picture here. And in the picture format tab, arrange group, we want rotate objects, flip vertical. And then in part E, group the red rectangle, the picture, and the star shape. So we'll start with the rectangle and holding down Control, select the picture, still holding down Control, select the star. Now, this is useful if you need to move an object, but you don't want to accidentally move one of these 3 objects out of alignment. So it's best to group them as one. And you can do this either through the shape format tab or the picture format tab. In both cases, the arrange group, go to group, group. And just to show you, picture format tab, arrange group, there's group and group. Notice the similarities, right? Notice the similarities with the ribbon groups here. Okay, group, group. Boom, there you go. And that takes care of step 2. Let's make sure to save. Moving right along to step 3. Let's go to slide 4. Products and services. Copy and align shapes to highlight key points as follows. Part A, copy the customized plans rectangle and then paste it on the same slide. So here's customized plans. Make sure you use the 4-headed arrow to select. And to copy, Home tab clipboard group, copy, or our good old friend Control C. And then to paste, you can click on paste in the Home tab clipboard group or Control V. And so you see here's our new shape. Part B, change the text to competitive rates. So I'll triple click on customize plans and then just type right over it, competitive rates. Part C, use smart guides to position the competitive rates rectangle beneath the other rectangles as shown in figure 3. So take a look at this figure. We want to have these guides here. All right, so I'm going to move competitive rates. So there's one of the guides, and this is what we want. Oh, there we go. This is what we want right here. Part D, select the rectangular shapes and use Align Right within the Align Objects tab to align the selected objects to each other. So I'm going to hold down the Control key and select my other 2 shapes. And in the Shape Format tab, Arrange Group, here's the Align menu, and we're going to choose Align Right. Now in Part E, use Distribute Vertically to distribute the selected objects to each other. We're going to hit that same menu again, Align, Distribute Vertically. Also, be sure that Align Selected Objects is checked, Distribute Vertically, and if in doubt, check out the final figure. And let's go ahead and save our project. All right, so how are we doing? Remember, you do have that pause button, and I'll see you on the other side. All right, moving right along. Step 4 on slide 5, change the color of the SmartArt outline to red accent 4, darker 25%. Again, darker 25%, that means 5th row. All right, so let's check out slide 5. Here's our SmartArt graphic. Let's click into the SmartArt graphic and make sure it's the outside border here. Okay, don't just select the shapes, right? We want the outside border. Here's the SmartArt Design and Format tabs, but we're being asked to change the color of the outline. So we need the Format tab here, and this is basically shape format. So in the Shape Styles group, we have Shape Outline, and it's going to be red accent 4, darker 25%. Now, when we click off the SmartArt, there's the outline. All right, so that takes care of slide 5. Now, let's look at slide 6 here. Step 5 on slide 6, how to enroll. Convert the numbered list into the pyramid list SmartArt layout to see if it makes the content more noteworthy. So we know how to insert SmartArt, right? We could go into the Insert tab, Illustrations group, and click SmartArt, but that's for inserting a new SmartArt. What if we already have a list and we want to convert this? Well, first we need to select the entire numbered list here. But if we look closer, in the Home tab paragraph group, we have convert to SmartArt graphic. And remember, it's the pyramid list, right? So now you can see it's a SmartArt graphic, and you have the SmartArt Design and Format tabs. But if we keep on reading, Part A, change the layout of the SmartArt to vertical box list. Now in the SmartArt Design tab, Layouts group, we're going to click on Change Layout, More Layouts. This brings up Choose a SmartArt graphic, and we want to look in the list category. Now, We're looking for the vertical box list, which is in the second row here. We'll click OK. And then in part B, apply the moderate effect smart art style in the best match for document section. Now, they actually do tell you where to look here. So in the smart art styles group, expand this menu, best match for document, and there's moderate effect. All right, moving right along. With slide 6 still displaying, step 6, insert a hyperlink from the plan text to https://www.cengage.com. All right, so I'm going to double click on plan to select it. Two ways to do this. You can right click, choose link, or you can go to the insert tab, links group, click on link. This brings up insert hyperlink. Now, you can do the same thing in Word as well. You can select a word and insert a hyperlink, and you have a couple of choices. You can create a hyperlink to a web page, or you can also create a hyperlink to another location in the current document, or you can create a hyperlink to another document. But here we want the web address, right? Existing file or web page. Text to display is going to be plan, and the address is https://. And because I've been playing around with this, it remembers my hyperlink to cengage.com. So we want https://www.cengage.com/ click OK. There's your hyperlink. I'll click off of it so you can see it there. And that takes care of step 6. Step 7. On slide 7, Access Medical gives back. Highlight the content by inserting a picture in a shape as follows. And let's make sure we're alt tabbing to the right place here. All right, so here we go. Part A, insert the diamond shape from the basic shape section of the shapes gallery. So they are providing you hints here. And we'll go into the insert tab, illustrations group, shapes, basic shapes. There's the diamond. And we'll click to the right of our list. Don't worry about the diamond at the moment because we're going to adjust this later. Part B, resize the diamond shape to a height of 3 inches and a width of 4 inches. In the shape format tab size group, change the height to 3 inches and change the width to 4 inches. Okay, just like that. Part C, insert the file support blah, 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 give.jpg. So in other words, download this support file if you haven't done so. But it tells you here, insert the JPEG as a picture fill in the shape. So in other words, here's what we're going to do. In the shape format tab, shape styles group, go to shape fill, picture, insert pictures from a file, and then find your support file. Okay, check your downloads folder, and there you go. Now, step 8, this is the tricky part. With slide 7 still displaying, show the ruler and guides, align the shape to the guides as shown in figure 4, and then hide the guides. So here's what we need to do. Go into the View tab in the Show group. Now I have ruler turned on already, but we need to turn on the ruler, and we'll turn on the guides. So here are the guides. Now this is another tricky one. If you're not careful, you might be marked wrong on this. So do your due diligence. And let's take a look at the instructions, and we'll zoom this in. So we're basically trying to duplicate this, all right? So again, look carefully at the figure here. Look at the guides. Look where the top of the image is, okay? Or the shape in this case. And we're going to try to duplicate this. Okay, so again, be careful here. So again, you might have to play around with this. You pretty much want the edge of the palms to fall along the guide here. So again, I'll pause this video so that you have a chance to double check And I'll definitely have to do some post-production editing here, but I'll see you on the other side. All right, before we continue, be sure to hide the guides. So we'll go back into the View tab here, and then we'll turn off the guides. So again, make sure you do your due diligence here, and we'll go ahead and continue. All right, step 9, delete slide 8 because it is no longer necessary. So I'm going to right click on slide 8 and delete slide, just like that. Step 10, add slide numbers and footer text to complete your presentation as follows. Part A, insert a slide number on all slides except the title slide. Hint, use the don't show on title slide checkbox in the header and footer dialog box. So how do we work with headers and footers in PowerPoint? Well, if we go to the Insert tab, Text Group, Header and Footer, you get the Header and Footer dialog box. So how do we add slide numbers? We just check the box. And of course, they do give you that hint, don't show on title slide, right? Part B, enter the following text in the footer, employee orientation. Check the box for footer and type employee orientation in the field there, and then we'll click apply to all. Now if you change your mind, you can always bring back header and footer if you need to add other things. And at this point, we are pretty much done with this project. In slide sorter view, your presentation should look like the final figure on the following page. Save your changes, close the presentation, and exit PowerPoint. Follow the directions on the website to submit your completed project. Now, with that out of the way, slides 1 and 7 are the ones to be careful with here. If you go back to your instructions, it's steps 1E that you really need to pay attention to. Okay, steps 1E, and then later on, step 8. Okay, so make a note of those. And of course, with the others, it's real easy to miss something. So go through, carefully check things before uploading, right? Don't just blindly follow what I'm doing here. Make sure you do your due diligence. I've already been playing around with this project and I can see how you can easily lose points. And with that, again, make sure you save and close completely out of PowerPoint. If you have autosave turned on, it's especially important that you close completely out of PowerPoint. And now we're going to go ahead and turn in our project for grading. So it's thinking about it, and then go ahead and click submit. And I'll show you the graded summary report. So again, you want to pay attention to steps 1E and step 8. Because it's real easy to get those marked wrong if you're not careful. And as you can see, it's 100 out of 100. So again, do your due diligence. Don't just blindly follow what I'm doing. That's why I have these walkthrough videos, so you can also see the pitfalls as you're going through these projects. I wish you the best of luck with PowerPoint Module 2 project. And once again, if you didn't get 100% and if it's an issue with the first step, let me show you real quick here so that you're not starting from the beginning. So before I leave, let me show you something here. You can go back into your original start file, right? So let's say that you really messed up step 1 and you don't want to start from scratch. You can go into your original start file here, copy these shapes, and then paste them into your project file, the one that ends with a 2. That way it saves you the trouble of having to start all over, and then you can just continue on with step 1. Anyway, wish you the best of luck. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.